It began as a movie the world misunderstood, sold as shock, dismissed as trash, and buried beneath its own marketing sins. But years later, it clawed its way back from the grave, not just as a cult favorite, but as a statement. Behind the blood and black humor lies a story about power, desire, betrayal, and what happens when the world tries to devour a woman whole. These are 20 weird facts about Jennifer's body. Number 1. Here's a wound that's still raw. Jennifer's body was sold as sex appeal plus gore, framed for teenage boys. The trailers leaned hard on Megan Fox's sex symbol status, the lesbian kiss, the blood, all to sell a gory romp, but that was never Diablo Cody's or Karen Kusama's intention. Amanda Seyfried later voiced deep frustration, saying they cheapened it and ruined it. In essence, they obscured the emotional core, the friendship, the betrayal, the horror of being silenced and preyed upon, in favor of flashing skin and sparks. Critics panned it, some dismissed it. Audiences didn't know which tone to expect. It misfired. But that mismatch also seeded a cult legacy. The people who dug below the surface found subtext: feminist anger, queer longing, teenage trauma. The marketing misstep became part of the mythology. The movie you have to fight to see. It's ironic. Jennifer's body was under-marketed as trash, but over time, it's become a treasure. Number 2. In a behind-the-scenes disclosure that reads like a tragedy, director Karen Kusama revealed that the studio's marketing team once proposed having Megan Fox do live chats on amateur porn sites to promote Jennifer's body. The idea was meant to reach the target demographic, but Kusama called it crushing. She begged the team never to tell Fox, knowing how humiliating it would be. The suggestion exposed just how badly the studio misunderstood the movie, reducing a feminist horror satire into cheap sexual spectacle.
Oh, don't do that.
Though the plan was scrapped, the wound lingered. Kusama later said the entire marketing campaign was painful because the film's message about exploitation was itself being exploited. It was horror imitating life, and Hollywood's worst instincts. Number 3. When it came time to film the kiss between Needy and Jennifer, the actors had very different emotional reactions. Amanda Seyfried later admitted she was extremely uncomfortable, calling the moment weird, especially because it was with another woman.
Needy, enough with the screaming, you're such a—
Megan Fox, for her part, felt more comfortable. She once said she felt safer with girls, that the energy felt less performative. On set, this difference emerged in giggling fits, in pauses, in whispered readjustments. The contrast, Seyfried's vulnerability, Fox's control, makes the scene crackle. What we see isn't just a scripted kiss, it's two performers negotiating boundaries, trust, and the weight of a controversial moment. Number 4. One of the most fascinating and long overlooked layers of Jennifer's body is its queer undercurrent, the tension and affection between Jennifer and Needy that pulses beneath the gore. Megan Fox, who is openly bisexual, has said she's proud the film helped queer women feel seen and even inspired some to come out. She never explicitly stated that she played Jennifer as closeted, but that interpretation has resonated strongly with fans and critics alike. Every look between Jennifer and Needy, half hunger, half heartbreak, carries layers of intimacy and repression. Their now iconic kiss wasn't just shock value, it was a flash of unspoken love, jealousy, and power. In a genre that often punishes women for desire, Jennifer's body reclaimed it, turning queer longing into something terrifying, tragic, and beautiful. Number 5. To play a girl suspended between life, death, and demonic hunger, Megan Fox pushed herself to uncomfortable limits. In interviews, she said she got sick trying to lose weight to make Jennifer look drained and otherworldly. She cut calories, skipped sunlight to keep her skin pale, and endured long, exhausting makeup sessions that left her physically and mentally depleted. Fox later admitted the film's grotesque imagery, the vomiting, the devouring, forced her to confront parts of herself she usually kept hidden. Every glassy stare and slack jaw we see on screen isn't just performance, it's strain made visible. In embodying Jennifer, Fox blurred the line between actor and apparition, a body slowly consumed by the role itself. Number 6. You'd think the grossest effects in Jennifer's body came straight from a CGI lab, but one of its most stomach-turning moments was powered by something straight out of your kitchen: Hershey's chocolate syrup. For Jennifer's first possessed scene, when she arrives drenched, starving, and spewing black ooze in Needy's kitchen, the crew built the effect with practical tricks. A thin tube was hidden behind Megan Fox's ear, running into her mouth, so that when she bit down, a gush of syrup erupted forward in one horrifying stream. Mixed with CGI enhancement, it looked disturbingly alive, thick, tar-like, pulsating. The irony, the demon's bile that horrified audiences smelled like dessert. Sweet, sticky, and revolting. A perfect metaphor for Jennifer herself. Number 7. One of the creepiest things in Jennifer's body isn't the blood or the teeth. It's Jennifer's jaw, the way it opens way too wide, like something out of a nightmare. But making that effect work caused a lot of problems. The special effects team at KNBEFX Group built a realistic fake head for Megan Fox, with a jaw that could actually unhinge. It looked amazing, but there was one problem. It was way too heavy and uncomfortable for her to wear. So they mixed old school makeup tricks with CGI to pull it off. Early test audiences said the full version was too disturbing, so the studio made them tone it down. The final version still freaks people out, just enough to stay burned in your mind without going overboard. Number 8. Before filming even started, director Karen Kusama gathered the cast and crew in a dimly lit hotel conference room and played them Evil Dead 2. She wanted them to feel its rhythm, that perfect chaos of horror, humor, and madness that Sam Raimi mastered. Kusama knew Jennifer's body needed the same tonal balance. Frightening, yes, but also absurd and self-aware. The screening became a creative bonding moment. Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, and others laughing 1 minute, cringing the next, realizing that fear could be funny, and funny could be horrifying. Kusama later said it set the temperature for everything that followed. From that night on, Jennifer's body carried a trace of Raimi's DNA, slick, bloody, and wickedly alive. Number 9. Diablo Cody, in interviews, has admitted her influences for Jennifer's body included Ginger Snaps and The Lost Boys. Horror films that blend teenage identity crises with grotesque transformation. You can feel it in the pacing, in Jennifer's metamorphosis, in the way the film treats monstrous change as both curse and catharsis. Knowing that Lineage helps you see Jennifer's body not as isolated, but as part of a tradition of feminist monster stories. Films that demand empathy for those who are pushed too far. Number 10. What if I told you Jennifer's body has its own silent echo in the world of musicals? In 2018, an unauthorized stage musical adaptation of the film quietly sprung to life in Los Angeles, featuring performers from Glee and Pitch Perfect. It wasn't officially sanctioned, but it grew from cult fandom, fans wanting to reclaim the film's voice, to sing its darkness, to reanimate what was buried by bad marketing. The musical took bloody scenes and transposed them under spotlights, turning gore into choreography, horror into harmonies. For diehards, it was more than tribute, and in its small run, it proved something true. Jennifer's body was never only a movie. It was a myth people wanted to live inside. Number 11. Before Megan Fox lit up the screen, Jennifer's body was almost a very different cast. Blake Lively was offered the role of Jennifer, but scheduling conflicts with Gossip Girl forced her to decline. And for Needy, a simpler yet deeply complicated role, Emma Stone, Amanda Bynes, Lizzie Kaplan, and even Brie Larson auditioned. Imagine Emma Stone's Needy. More sardonic, more biting. Or Brie Larson's emotional undercurrent. One misstep in schedule, one alternate audition, one phone call, and the entire chemistry of the film might have changed. But Kusama and Cody stuck to intuition.
Ew, fuck, you need a Manny bad.
Fox was their magnet. Seyfried, the grounding contrast. In casting, fate is often disguised as logistics. So each look, each hesitation, each friction we see on screen. It's the product not just of performance, but of a path the film nearly didn't take. Number 12. The movie opens with a mystery, a roaring waterfall that swallows everything, a literal hole in the world. That isn't movie magic. It's inspired by a real place called the Devil's Kettle, hidden deep within Judge Magny State Park in Minnesota. For decades, scientists were baffled by it. One half of the Brule River disappears into a chasm, and no one could prove where it reemerged. In Jennifer's body, that abyss becomes a metaphor for Jennifer herself. Beautiful, destructive, unknowable. Ironically, the film didn't shoot there at all. The Devil's Kettle you see was actually Cascade Falls in British Columbia, Canada, enhanced with CGI to mimic the impossible waterfall. Like Jennifer, it's both real and illusion, a mystery that refuses to give up its secrets. Number 13. Most movies end when the credits roll, but Jennifer's body refused to die quietly.
I am going to eat your soul.
In August 2009, boom! Studios released a graphic novel tie-in that didn't just retell the story, it reanimated it. Written by Rick Spears, Teenagers from Mars, the comic expanded the lore with multiple short stories from the perspectives of side characters, victims, and even Jennifer herself. Spears worked from early drafts of Diablo Cody's script before final edits, which gave the book a slightly alternate reality. Scenes unfold differently, motives shift, and the tone leans grittier and sadder. The art style, heavy inks, bruised colors, raw energy, matched the movie's punk feminist pulse. For fans, it wasn't just merchandise, it was resurrection, a blood-inked mirror to the film's soul. Number 14. In 2024, Diablo Cody returned to horror comedy with Lisa Frankenstein, a pastel-colored gothic romance about resurrection and rage. But when fans noticed familiar tones, the sharp dialogue, the unapologetic femininity, the blend of gore and glitter, Cody confirmed their suspicions. Lisa Frankenstein and Jennifer's Body exist in the same cinematic universe. The connection isn't literal. It's thematic, emotional, spiritual. Both films explore transformation, revenge, and the monstrous cost of being underestimated. Cody even hinted that she sees Lisa Frankenstein as a spiritual sister to Jennifer, another young woman rewritten by death and desire. Fans now speculate whether Jennifer's curse still lingers in this new world. It's poetic, a resurrection of a resurrection story. Number 15. Before Jennifer's Body became the cult classic it is, producers flirted with a wild idea, casting real rock stars as the satanic indie band Low Shoulder. Early talks included names like Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy and Joel Madden of Good Charlotte. The logic was marketing gold. Real musicians playing a band that trades a girl's soul for fame. But schedules, label contracts, and creative differences killed the plan. Instead, Adam Brody, himself a musician, stepped in, blending charisma and cruelty with a believable frontman edge. Ironically, the fictional song Through the Trees became so convincing that fans thought it was a real radio single. In the end, Low Shoulder felt authentic precisely because it wasn't real. A perfect satire of fame built on sacrifice. Number 16. The title Jennifer's Body didn't come from Diablo Cody's imagination alone. It came from the band Hole's 1994 song of the same name, written by Courtney Love and Eric Erlandson for the album Live Through This. The song is jagged, mournful, and furious, a post-riot girl scream about objectification, female rage, and how the world consumes women and calls it beauty. Cody borrowed the title intentionally as a statement of solidarity and defiance. By reclaiming that name, she fused horror with feminist rock history, giving her demonized heroine the same tragic defiance the song carried. Later, Hole's Violet plays during Needy's revenge sequence, a spiritual echo of love's raw energy. It wasn't coincidence. It was a feminist anthem reanimated through blood, humor, and vengeance. Number 17. When asked about her career years later, Megan Fox didn't name Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or any of the high-budget blockbusters that made her a global star.
Several parents
She named Jennifer's Body. Fox has called it her favorite role, the one that let her be raw, complicated, and grotesque without apology. At the time, critics and audiences mocked the film, misreading both her performance and the movie's message. But for Fox, it was the first project that reflected how she felt: misunderstood, objectified, angry, yet powerful in that defiance. The film gave her control over the very image Hollywood had distorted. In her words, Jennifer was a metaphor for every girl who's ever been used and turned into the villain. It wasn't just acting, it was exorcism. Number 18. When Jennifer's Body first arrived, it underperformed, with mixed reviews and low box office, about $31.6 million globally on a $16 million budget. But over time, something changed. Around 2017 to 2018, as the Me Too movement reshaped the cultural lens, critics and fans began to see Jennifer's Body in a new light. Not as trashy teen horror, but as a dark feminist parable about ownership of self, rage, female friendship, and betrayal. The irony is sharp. A film once dismissed as exploitation is now hailed as prophetic. Screenings grew, essays multiplied, fan art blossomed. The narrative flipped. Jennifer's Body didn't fail. It was ahead of its moment.
They're this indie rock band from the city. I saw their MySpace page.
Now it pulses as a cult classic, proof that some works have to wait for their generation. Number 19. Behind every cult film is a ghost of a version that never happened. And for Jennifer's Body, that ghost is a failed TV pitch. Diablo Cody revealed she once tried to pitch a Jennifer's Body television series, but the suits wouldn't even hear her out. She couldn't even get to the pitch stage. In the years after the movie's initial reception, that rejection stung. The world had boxed the film in. It wasn't a franchise, but Cody kept the embers alive in interviews, in fandoms, and hard conversations about what the original Jennifer's Body could have become. Recently, she's even spoken of revisiting the world, expanding beyond 2009. Though whether Hollywood listens a second time is another story. Number 20. Before Jennifer's Body hit movie screens, its screenplay was celebrated on Hollywood's Blacklist, a collection of the most liked but unproduced scripts each year. In 2007, Cody's dark, audacious draft made the list, giving the project clout before it even had a director attached. That early prestige made studios take notice, helping the film move forward. But even then, its tone, horror, satire, teenage pain, and was a gamble. The Blacklist nod said, "This is special," but the world just had to catch up. From its cursed marketing to its feminist resurrection, Jennifer's body was never the monster they said it was. It was a mirror. If you love diving into the darkness behind this cult classic, hit subscribe, like, and tell us in the comments, which horror movie should we dissect next on Iconic Frights Rewind? Because every scream has a story, and every story deserves to be heard again.